Welcome, all of you beautiful beings of light. The elation pouring forth from the heavenly realms is beyond anything that we could possibly comprehend with our finite minds at this moment. It's difficult for us to realize that as we've been through these millions of years of struggle to get back to this point, they have been waiting in perfect peace and harmony, sending their love and expectation of our God-victorious accomplishment. This morning, I was prompted to turn on the news, which is something I often don't do before these kinds of activities of light. And when I turned to the MSNBC channel, they were doing a report from scientists that there are unprecedented, huge solar storms taking place on the sun that began on the 10th of August, much larger than the scientists had expected. And they said they're sending forth rays of light to the earth, and in the midst of the Perseid meteor shower that we're having around the world at this time, they said there will probably be auroras, which never occur in the summer. So they said tonight for us to look. We're pretty far south, but over the past few months, we have been receiving some of those unusual, beautiful auroras from the heavenly realms. We need to understand the magnitude of what is occurring at this moment. Yesterday, we did elevate a quantum shift in Mother Earth's crystalline grid system, and our Mother God's comprehensive divine love is now pulsating through the grid system in frequencies that we have never experienced before. And as we talk about moving through these new solar realities, and we've talked in many times through the vlogs and newsletters for a few years now of moving into receiving new solar light codes from the suns in Earth's lineage. And just very briefly, I don't want to take a lot of time to discuss because it's complicated and we'll learn more about it as we move forward in the light. And I'll just mention, everybody's wondering, why is this the last and where we will go from here? And it's because we are accomplishing the mission of reversing the adverse effects of our fall from grace. And the beings of light have told us to be at peace, that everything that progresses from this moment forward is going to be contingent on what we accomplish at this time as we are moving forth these stages of awakening and elevating to new frequencies, the creative faculties of humanity's thoughts and feelings and the physical senses, so that we can tap into the higher expectations of perfection. And just very briefly, because we've talked about Helios and Vesta and Alpha and Omega and the great central sun of Eloi and Eloah and the great central sun of El and Allah. And now, after literally eons of time, moving into the full embrace of our grand central sun. And we've been talking about our physical experience with Alpha and Omega, our 12 physical suns and our 144 planets. And when we went through the last shift of the ages, eons ago, millions of years ago, the Earth alone remained in the third dimension with the heart commitment that all of the laggard souls that were not going to make it through the shift of the ages would be transferred to the inner realms of Earth and embody on this planet through the natural process of birth, and that the evolutions of the Earth were willing to spend whatever was necessary in the way of energy, vibration, and consciousness to love these precious fallen souls into the light. So for eons of time, we've been working in that frequency. Gradually, we reached a frequency of vibration that allowed the system of Alpha and Omega to ascend into the next solar radiance of our great central sun, Eloway and Eloah. And I've told you that we are the sacred geometry of the power of the 12 times 12, even including our clocks and our zodiac and our physical signs in the constellations, all of those things, the power of the 12 times 12. Well, Alpha and Omega, our 12 suns and our 144 planets, are one of the system of worlds held in the embrace of our great central sun of Eloway and Eloah. There are another 11 system of worlds, just like Alpha and Omega, that Eloway and Eloah are responsible for. So in that whole system, Eloway and Eloah also belong with all of those central suns, all of those physical suns, all of those planets. They belong to a great central sun. Alpha and Omega is our central sun. Eloway and Eloah is our great central sun. And El and Allah are our great central sun. And El and Allah are responsible for 12 systems, exactly like the system of Eloway and Eloah. And those systems, all of those lights, are what have ascended into the full embrace now of our grand central sun. This time frame was discussed through all spiritual teachings, eons of time, and we just didn't fully grasp it. But even in the Bible, it talks about this moment in Revelations. And it states that in the day of the seventh angel, when he begins to sound, the mystery of God will be fulfilled and time will be no more. The seventh angel is moving into the full momentum of the seventh solar aspect of deity, which I've shared with you as the predominant frequency of vibration, the seventh ray for the constellation and the age of Aquarius. The violet flame will be the predominant energy, the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine polarity of God. And when the masculine and feminine polarity of God are balanced within us, it awakens our spiritual brain centers, opens our crown chakra, and allows us to return to the open heart and mind Christ consciousness that allows us to communicate openly with our I am presence in the company of heaven. So when that occurs, we have now moved into the full embrace of the age of Aquarius. And as we are moving through these life-transforming transfigurations within our bodies, we are returning to the ability to be the open conduits from the sacred knowledge in the heavenly realms and all of the schools of learning. So the mystery of God will be no more. And we used to have that. We lost that when we fell from grace. And the reason it says that time will be no more is because we are moving into the fifth dimension. And time and space are only continuums of the fourth and third dimension. And what we are doing at this sacred time is elevating. Our mission today is to strengthen our respiratory system and our nervous system to be able to receive higher frequencies of the solar aspects of deity. And just so that we can understand what's happening. I know there's a lot of confusion because we think of having 7 chakras and now we're talking about 12 chakras. But this is a natural process and it's been unfolding. And everybody's I am presence has been involved because there are myriad legions of awakening humanity are very consciously aware of what is happening, working with the beings of light. And they are invoking the I am presence of every man, woman, and child. So every person's I am presence is fully aware and is participating to the maximum that cosmic law will allow, even if the consciousness of the person is unaware of it at that time. For us, just by saying, I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of every man, woman, and child, instantaneously, our I am presence sends a ray of light to everybody's I am presence, alerting them that a son or daughter of God embodied on earth is invoking the light on their behalf, and they stand in readiness to receive that light. Then we do our meditations, our invocations, and the light we are invoking flows through us into the heart of our I am presence and the heart of every person's I am presence. The difference is that every person's I am presence knows what that person's divine plan is, honors their free will choices that we are not allowed to interfere with, and they receive that light. And they utilize it in perfect alignment with that person's divine plan and their state of evolution in that moment. So, for instance, if we are invoking healing light, that I am presence receives that healing light. But if what the person needs in the moment is God's eternal peace or love or some other aspect of divinity, their I am presence transfigures that light that is multifaceted and multidimensional into what the person needs in that moment. So every person's I am presence is very aware of what is occurring at this time. And just briefly, so we can understand where we are with our chakra systems at this moment. Never in the whole of creation has a planet been given the opportunity that has fallen to the denseness of separation and duality that the Earth is experiencing. Never has a planet fallen to this level, been given the opportunity to move through two-dimensional shifts in such a short period of time. And the only reason this level of patience and compassion is being rendered to us, as I have mentioned consistently for decades now, is because we got in this mess out of the greatest act of compassion and divine love by inviting the laggard souls, our sisters and brothers that had fallen, that were going to be left behind and not be allowed to move forward because of their frequency of vibration. We allowed them to be transferred to Earth, and we accepted responsibility for awakening them and helping them. But because we were the holy innocents at that time and had never experienced any frequencies of misqualified energy, when their karmic liabilities had to be released to them as they got older and older, it literally overwhelmed the Earth evolutions and took us down that path into the abyss of separation and duality. So now, this particular phase of our evolutionary process has been greatly accelerated. And when we're coming to embodiment, we come through first from the heart of God, breathed forth as a radiant white fire being. Then we accept and move into the momentum of our I am presence, which is a reflection, the image of our Father, Mother, God. Our I am presence has a 12-fold, fifth-dimensional crystalline solar spine, 12 chakras, and each of the 12 chakras radiates with all 12 solar aspects of deity. So to embody on earth our I am presence breathed forth a step-down frequency of itself into the fourth dimension. And it was referred to as our fourth dimensional planetary Christ presence. And our fourth dimensional planetary Christ presence also has a spine with 12 chakras. But the chakras are the solar aspects of deity are stepped down into a fourth dimensional frequency. So each of the 12 chakras reflects only one of the solar aspects of deity. Our fourth dimensional solar Christ presence then breathed forth an even further step down three-dimensional planetary Christ presence. And when the fourth dimensional solar rays of light went through the prism into the third dimension, it transfigures the solar light into the sevenfold frequency of the pigment octave of color. Just like putting a sun ray through a crystal, we see the sevenfold rainbow on the other side. So our fourth dimensional planetary Christ presence projected forth a sevenfold planetary spine into our third dimensional planetary Christ presence. And that evolution continued for eons of time. What has happened now in this accelerated pace is that, as we've talked about already, that moving through the doorway of 1111, during harmonic convergence in 1987, we activated the planetary grid into the initial impulse of the crystalline grid with the 12 solar aspects of deity pulsating through that grid, but it was still at a step-down, denser, third-dimensional frequency. When we moved 5 years later in 1991, July through January 1992, we moved through the doorway of the 1111. It was our initial impulse onto the spiral of the fourth dimension. So at that time, our sevenfold planetary spine and our earthly bodies, through incremental increases of light, ascended, and our sevenfold planetary spine merged with our 12-fold fourth dimensional Christ spine. And each chakra was reverberating at a different color. This was in 1992. And 11 years later, in 2003, we reached a frequency of vibration where the earth and all life evolving upon her were breathed up the spiral of evolution into the initial impulse of our fifth dimensional crystalline solar spine. So from that time, because our Mother God was brought into balance with the masculine polarity, the violet flame from the left polarity of the sapphire blue flame of our Father God's power and divine will, the crystalline pink flame through our right brain hemisphere of comprehensive divine love and oneness, the pink and blue flames in our heart were again merged to that higher frequency that birthed us back into that level of our awakened initial impulse into the full divine potential as a son and daughter of God. This awakening within us with the return of the Mother, our Mother God, birthing us back into the Christ consciousness of a son or daughter of God, was ultimately what the universe was saying about the second coming of the Christ. Only through returning to our full potential as sons and daughters of God can we continue our journey. And that happened through the 40-day period from 1111 through the solstice in 2003. Since that time, we have been moving step by step into higher and higher frequencies of vibration that allowed us to move through the ascension into the new earth in 2012, and we have been progressing incrementally into higher and higher frequencies. in our fifth dimensional crystalline solar spine that we now have, we no longer have the chakras. The sevenfold chakra merged and became one with the fourth dimensional chakra. Both the sevenfold chakra, the fourth dimensional chakra, in 2003 merged and became one with our fifth dimensional crystalline solar spine. So now we have 12 chakras, and each chakra reverberates with all 12 solar aspects of deity. We are just now understanding, as we move into new unprecedented frequencies of our holy breath, which we're going to work with today, is that the company of heaven and our Father, Mother God are revealing that our holy breath, the prana and life force that sustains us, is the 12 solar aspects of deity. And as we breathe in every breath, all 12 of those magnificent solar aspects of God are breathed through our crown of the Elohim. Above the earth is an enormous crown of the Elohim with 12 points, and the Elohim are the builders of form. Each of the 12 Elohim are responsible for one of the solar aspects of deity. From that crown that pulsates above the earth, a minuscule crown is projected onto the brow of every person's I am presence. And on every breath, this breath from the heart of God, pulsating with all 12 aspects of deity, passes through the solar crown, through our crown chakra, down our fifth dimensional solar spine. And this light pours in, no matter how you're thinking of it in your brain, in order. So the first solar aspect of deity, the sapphire blue, comes into our crown at the point where 1 o'clock would be. 2 o'clock would be the second ray. 3 o'clock would be the third ray. And this goes around until the 12th solar aspect of deity comes through the 12th point of the crown. That is exactly how this circle of the sacred 12 pulsates through all 12 of our chakras. Each chakra is pulsating with the circle of this, the sacred circle of 12, all 12 solar aspects of deity. So all of these qualities and all of these aspects of divinity that we're going to be talking about today pulsate through every chakra. And now all we have to do when we want to expand any quality, if we want to expand the divine love, which reverberates through the third solar aspect of deity, we simply invoke divine love from our I am presence. It expands on the holy breath through the crown of the Elohim. And when you see it with your inner vision, every chakra, that third point that would be a 3 o'clock point, begins to expand until all 12 chakras turn into blazing pink suns of light. And when we're complete with that activity, it goes back into perfect balance. And our angel of the day, not coincidentally, is the angel of balance. And so if we want more, if we want to invoke the emerald green light and the violet flame of transmutation, we simply ask for it. And both the emerald green and violet flame blaze through all 12 chakras until they are radiant pulsations of light. So now what we are being asked to do, this has been building in momentum, and for all of you to know your I am presence has been doing this through you, even if you were oblivious to it and you were still focusing on the 7 chakras. When we began our teachings in the 60s and 70s, people didn't even hardly know about chakras. Doctors were totally rejecting any consciousness of acupuncture meridians or energy flowing through our body in that way. But your I Am Presence knew, and your I Am Presence knows, and you've been experiencing incremental upgrades in perfect alignment with your free will choices and your divine plan, in alignment with your I Am Presence. So you aren't behind, you're exactly where you're supposed to be at this time. And today, because all life has ascended into the full embrace of our grand central sun, the legions of light are going to accelerate this activity. And this is going to be our meditation this morning, is that our holy breath, we are consciously focusing, now knowing that with every breath, the 12 solar aspects of deity vibrating at fifth dimensional frequencies beyond anything we have ever been able to experience now, because of the new record keeper crystals and the quantum reboot in the crystal grid system, we are going to be receiving higher frequencies of the holy breath. So the activity of light is going to lead us through the rhythmic holy breath. And then one by one, the mighty Elohim are going to be activating to the highest possible frequency the 12 solar aspects of deity within us, one by one. They're going to be coming through the crown of the Elohim on the brow of our I Am Presence, through our crown chakra, and through all 12 of the circles of the sacred 12 in our fifth dimensional crystalline solar spine. And even though we began experiencing the initial impulses of this with the full return of our Mother God, which occurred in 2003, every year with every breath, our I Am Presence has incrementally accelerated the frequency within us, the maximum that cosmic law would safely allow within us at a cellular level. So this has been a unique experience for all of us, because no two people are in the same place at the same time. But the holy breath that we are going to begin with, and then to bring this energy in, is the rhythmic holy breath. And we're going to begin by just activating pure God source oxygen. And the holy breath, and we'll just guide you through that step by step on our visualization, the beautiful video that Adi has created for us. It's you just breathe in for 4 counts. I am in breathing. We hold the breath for 4 counts. I am assimilating. We exhale the breath for 4 counts. I am expanding. And we hold the breath out as we project it through the crystal grid system. I am expanding the holy breath. So this activity of light is strengthening and restoring to new levels our nervous system and our breathing apparatus. It is a major shift that must occur today and will, to prepare us as we move through this week for the greatly expanded, elevated mass consciousness of humanity, lifting us into previously unknown experiences of our creative faculties of thought and feeling, and raising our physical senses into new eyes and new ears and new breath, new smell, new fragrances, new taste, new touch, new imagination, and creative faculties of thought and feeling that will allow us to not only experience and observe the wonders of the universe, but to breathe them through our heart flames and manifest them in the physical world of form. So if you will go within and center yourself in the divinity of your heart, and just for a moment, feel the gratitude and the elation pouring forth to you from the company of heaven. The beings of light that we are working with from the grand central sun are frequencies of vibration that we have ever been able, beyond anything we have ever been able to withstand at a cellular level. They have been waiting in the heavenly realms for millions of years, since the initial impulse of our fall from grace in the middle of the fourth subrace of the fourth root race eons ago. And they are now welcoming us with brand new levels of wonder and awe into the new creativity and ability that we have been asked to co-create for the new earth. So go within to the divinity of your heart and just follow us through this visualization. Hi, precious heart. Thank you for joining us for our weekly vlog. Today, our vlog is part of the 38th Annual World Congress on Illumination. We are being joined by all of the attendees at the World Congress, as well as the lightworkers who are joining us this morning from around the world for our virtual event. During this critical time, the highest beings of light that we have ever vibrationally had access to from our grand central sun are joining with our Father, Mother, God, and the legions of light who have served the evolutions of Earth since our fall from grace. Together, these celestial beings are working with the I Am presence of every man, woman, and child as we prepare our nervous systems, our respiratory systems to withstand more light. This preparation is taking place with the supervision of each person's I Am presence, no matter where we are located on the face of the earth or how we are being guided to weave our unique golden thread of light into this essential facet of Mother Earth's ascension process. The first step of the preparation, the company of heaven, and our I Am presence is now guiding us through will assist our fifth dimensional silent watcher and our body elemental to greatly accelerate the divine alchemy taking place within our earthly bodies. This alchemy is transfiguring our carbon-based planetary cells into fifth dimensional crystalline-based solar light cells. As a result of this divine intervention, our nervous system, our respiratory system, and our physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies are being strengthened and recalibrated to withstand the frequencies of the 12 fifth-dimensional crystalline solar aspects of deity. This crystalline light from the very heart of our Father, Mother, God is actually the holy breath of God. It is literally our life force, which is the prana that flows through our fifth-dimensional crystalline solar spine, our 12 fifth-dimensional solar chakras, and our 12 fifth-dimensional solar strands of DNA with every single breath we take. It is through this holy breath that our I Am presence is beginning the process of awakening, activating, and elevating our multidimensional creative faculties of thought and feeling, as well as our multidimensional physical senses of sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, intuition, and imagination. During this stage of our preparation, the company of heaven wants us to know that with every holy breath we take, our Father, Mother, God are breathing through our earthly bodies the highest frequencies of the 12 fifth-dimensional crystalline solar aspects of deity that cosmic law will allow. Through our activity of light today, with every holy breath, the highest frequency of scintillating light that we can safely withstand at a cellular level will be breathed by our Father, Mother, God through the 12-pointed crown of the Elohim that pulsates upon the brow of every son and daughter of God. This light will radiate through our crown chakra and descend down our fifth-dimensional crystalline solar spine as it recalibrates our nervous system, our respiratory system, and our 12 fifth-dimensional solar chakras to withstand higher frequencies of light than we have ever known. Dear one, if you have the heart call to participate in this vitally important activity of light, please join with me and lightworkers around the world now. As directed by the company of heaven, we will start with our rhythmic breath, breathing 7 rhythmic breaths of God's pure source oxygen. The rhythmic holy breath consists of breathing in for 4 counts, holding the breath for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, and holding the breath out for 4 counts. I will guide you through this breathing process. And we begin. I am my I Am presence, and I am one with the I Am presence of every person on earth. As one breath, one heartbeat, one voice, and one energy, vibration, and consciousness of pure divine love, I consciously breathe the most intensified frequencies of God's pure source oxygen from the very core of creation that I am capable of receiving at a cellular level. To begin, I exhale deeply, and as I in-breathe, I affirm within the divinity of my heart flame, I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. Holding the breath, I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. Exhaling, I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. Holding the breath out, I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. Inhale, I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. Hold, I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. Exhale, I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. Hold, I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. I am in-breathing God's pure source oxygen. I am assimilating God's pure source oxygen. I am expanding God's pure source oxygen. I am projecting God's pure source oxygen. And I now breathe normally. Along my fifth dimensional solar spine, each of my 12 chakra pulsates as a sphere of light that is radiating all 12 solar aspects of deity simultaneously. My 12 chakras are aligned along my fifth dimensional spinal column, from my fifth dimensional crown chakra at the top of my head to my fifth dimensional root chakra at the base of my spine. At this time, the beings of light from our grand central sun are helping every person's I am presence to breathe brand new multi-dimensional frequencies of this scintillating light through our 12 fifth dimensional solar chakras. Now, on my holy breath, I join my Father, Mother, God, and the beings of light from the grand central sun for this activity of light on behalf of all humanity. One by one, I visualize each aspect of deity as it descends down my fifth dimensional solar spine and gently recalibrates my nervous system, my respiratory system, and my 12 fifth dimensional solar chakras to withstand more light. I am now breathing in the first fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is sapphire blue. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of God's will, illumined faith, power, protection, and God's first cause of perfection. This is the ray of light that reflects the masculine polarity of our Father God. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing sapphire blue suns of light. I am now breathing in the second fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is yellow gold. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of enlightenment, wisdom, illumination, and constancy. This is the ray of light that reflects the unity consciousness of the sons and daughters of God as this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine. All 12 of my chakras are becoming yellow gold suns of light. I am now breathing in the third fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is crystalline pink. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of comprehensive divine love, oneness, reverence for all life, adoration, and tolerance. This is the ray of light that reflects the feminine polarity of our Mother God, the Holy Spirit. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras becoming blazing crystalline pink suns of light. I am now breathing in the fourth fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is white. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of purity, hope, resurrection, renewal, restoration, ascension, and the Immaculate Concept. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing white suns of light. I'm now breathing in the fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is emerald green. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of illumined truth, healing, concentration, consecration, and inner vision. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing emerald green suns of light. I am now breathing in the sixth fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is ruby gold. The brand new multidimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of divine grace, healing, devotional worship, peace, and the manifestation of the Christ. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing ruby gold suns of light. I am now breathing in the seventh fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is violet. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of mercy, compassion, cosmic forgiveness, transmutation, liberty, justice, freedom, victory, glory, oneness, transfiguration, and God's infinite perfection. This is the ray of light that reflects the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine polarities of our Father, Mother, God. The violet flame of God's infinite perfection is the predominant frequency of light that is bathing the earth during this Aquarian age, which we have now entered. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing violet suns of light. I am now breathing in the eighth fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is aquamarine. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of clarity, comprehension, divine perception, discernment, and understanding. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing aquamarine suns of light. I am now breathing in the ninth fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is magenta. The brand new multidimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of harmony, balance, assurance, and God confidence. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing magenta suns of light. I am now breathing in the 10th, fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is gold. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of eternal peace, prosperity, abundance, and the God's supply of all good things. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing golden suns of light. I am now breathing in the 11th, fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is peach. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of divine purpose, enthusiasm, and joy. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing peach suns of light. I am now breathing in the 12th, fifth dimensional solar aspect of deity, which is opal. The brand new multi-dimensional patterns of perfection associated with this aspect of deity are encoded in the celestial qualities of transformation and transfiguration. As this light flows through my fifth dimensional spine, all 12 of my chakras become blazing opal suns of light. Now, the brand new multi-dimensional celestial qualities encoded within each of the 12 fifth dimensional solar aspects of deity are secured through all 12 of my fifth dimensional solar chakras. In each chakra, this exquisite light forms what our Father, Mother, God, and the mighty Elohim refer to as the circle of the sacred 12. This activity of light has been God victoriously accomplished by my I Am presence and the I Am presence of every son and daughter of God on earth in preparation for the divine mission we are being called to co-create on behalf of humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth. I so decree it and accept it done as the presence of God I am. Beloved Father, Mother, God, and the company of heaven, beloved beings of light from our grand central sun, and beloved I Am presence of every person on earth, I thank you for the assistance you are giving to humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth during this momentous time. And so it is, beloved I Am that I am.